A lot of organizations that we talk to are really in the experimental phase. They're still in the, I call it learning. How do you get from experimental to production? A lot of companies underestimate what it takes to scale an AI from experiment to actual introduction into your mainstream business. One of the shortcomings is what we see is there's a lot of vast kind of thought processes around how can I apply this technology. Where we see success is companies that kind of step back, clearly define the use cases and the results they're looking for, because then you can kind of gain experience on those wins, but you also get momentum. The hardest part to ever, and I've been in large organizations trying to justify data cleanliness, data management, was always the toughest sell because it's not glory, right? It's the work you need to do to be able to be successful. And now it's coming back to haunt a lot of companies. Because if we think about AI, what does AI do, right? It learns. Where does it learn from? Well, it learns from all the data that it has capability. And remember, your data is specific to your organization. Yes, you'll influx some, I'll call it more general information, but the core of the learning is going to come from your learnings and your data as you go. If you think about the performance, how well is AI going to do? Well, it all depends on the cleanliness and the quality of the data. And if you think about models, as you're generating models and you're trying to get business results and trying to drive, I call it business-driven, data-driven kind of decisions, think about the data you need, right? I think the suggested rule of thumb is that you want to have at least 10 times the data points for every feature on the data set you're trying to solve for. I've always said this, and I keep saying it, is bad data in equals bad results out. And we're starting to see that. And I can tell you, when we walk into companies, the first questions we ask is, do you have control of your data? Is it single source? Am I going to have conflicting results when I try to employ these AI engines to start learning? And they always say yes. And then as we go through this, we see that there's a big challenge, and we have to have that cleanliness kind of take first place before we actually expand.